it's obvious that you're intelligent. Let me ask you this. Who do you think was the most dangerous car at USP Canaan?
The white boys.
Why is that?
The white boys push a hard line. Listen, you feel me? And they standing on all business. You hear me? Like them white boys, like when this time to go, it's like, oh, they going. And like, I don't know everything about the politics as far as like with the white boys. But I know like when they have to put in work, they can't stop. You know, they have to put in work to the point where somebody got to get maced. Or somebody down there got to get killed, but they can't stop, bro. The white boys is the most, from my experience from being at Canaan, the white boys was the most vicious car down there.
So MJ, you're going to USP Canaan, the first time in federal prison. You only got a little bit of time. What's going through your mind when they say, "Hey, you're going to USP Canaan"?
Man, the only thing was going through my mind because I saw the stories and shit. I'm like, man, God. Then I say, man, I'm thinking like, man, how I'm gonna make it out of here? How I'm gonna survive, bro? Like, I knew I was legit. Like, far as like my paperwork and stuff was cool, and I ain't no chomo or nothing like that. But still, when I'm still hearing about the USPs, I'm like, oh my God, man, like this is about to be hell.
So how old are you at the time that you're on your way to USP Canaan?
I'm 35 on my way up to USP.
How much time are you sentenced to?
I was sentenced to 30 months.
So with 30 months, these people decide, you know what, we're going to send you to USP Canaan where people are getting brutalized, killed, cut, stabbed, all of that type of shit.
Yeah. So I'm like, it threw me for a loop because, you know, the PO, the supervisor was like, you know, you ain't gonna go to no USP and nothing like that. So I'm thinking like, all right, cool. But when I got my designation that I'm going to USP Canaan, and reminds you, you know, somebody had just died in USP Canaan. Somebody just got killed in USP Canaan, like a year or two prior. So when they telling me I'm going to USP Canaan and shit like that, I'm like, bro, like I told them like, man, this is a mistake. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I got 30 months, bro. Like, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, y'all got the wrong guy, like far as like going here. But when it came back to it, that I was going into USP Canaan, that's just what it was. And it's like, I had to really kind of like, wait, you know what I'm saying? I had to lace my boots up, Chad.
You talk about lacing your boots up, right? You're on your way to USP Canaan. What is going through your mind though? Are you like, damn, man, I'm not trying to die in here. I got to get a knife. What are you thinking?
Yeah, that's the thing, you know, because like, let's be honest, like, hand-to-hand combat is vicious. Like when you playing with that knife, when you playing with that steel, right? So that's a different type of animal. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can shoot somebody, but like that hand-to-hand combat with that steel, that's different, right? So on my way going into here, I'm like, damn, bro, like I ain't never stabbed nobody or nothing like that. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100 with you. So I'm like, man, I'm thinking to myself, like, bro, I hope that, you know what I'm saying, I don't get stabbed or I don't be the one that having to do the stabbing because I know my time's short, right? So I'm not trying to get stuck in here because if you know, like going to these USPs, like a lot of people don't make it out, Chad. And some people be in there that it's so easy to catch extra time, right? So my mindset was like, damn, I gotta make it back home to my people, bro. Like I can't, like I don't want to be that, you know what I'm saying, that guy that had to kill somebody or stab somebody. I'm like, damn, man, I hope I don't get stabbed. Like, so, you know, I had so much anxiety going through there, Chad, bro. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100, bro. I was scared, bro. I was scared, bro. So I ain't gonna lie to you, like it really had me shook, bro. And then I'm like, you hear about the USPs if you know, you've been to the feds, so you hear about, the big Sandys, the Polacks and all that stuff. And I'm like, damn, bro, like, I got to make it out of here, bro. Like, but I was scared going into there, bro. You feel me? You know, and then, you know, I never been in no gang. So it's like, I can fend for myself, right? But when you got 10, 15 people on your ass, that's a different type of thing.
So you go into Canaan, a little bit nervous. Anybody that says they ain't scared of going to a USP is either absolutely nuts or they're lying. That's how I see it, right? You get to USP Canaan. Let's talk about R&D. Let's give people a little run through at what that's like, right? You go into R&D. There's a bunch of people on the bus, I'm sure. Anybody checking in? Anybody check in? Like, man, I can't be here.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like when you come in, like, it's like about, I came in with like about 10 people, right? So when I came in, you got people like they checking in. The first person that see was SIS. So when SIS would come approach me, they asked me like, where you from? You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm like, I'm Michigan, Ohio. You feel me? So they like, the first thing he asked me, like, where you from? Then he asked me like, did you ever cooperate with the government? I'm like, nah, you feel me? So he like, did you ever tell on somebody? I'm like, nah, with you. So he checking it all off on the board. So I'm sitting in the cell in R&D, and you remind you, it's on chicken day, it's Thursday. So I can't even eat. You know what I'm saying? Cause I got like I'm nervous, my anxiety through the roof. I'm in here. And then, you know, when you in there, you just sitting in there, you looking around, and I'm going through that whole process and everything. And, you know, the first thing I asked SIS, and I ain't gonna even hold you, I'm like, man, what, do I need to get a knife? He like, man, because I'm like, I ain't with no gang or nothing like that. He like, man, listen, we go put you with I'm like, all right, cool. But that whole process is just going through there, dealing with you know what I'm saying? Dealing with SIS when I first get through the door. It's just like, man, it's very daunting for real, Chad.
So out of 10 people, how many people check in?
Out of 10 people check in, we had like 6.
So only 4 people go to the yard at Canaan.
Yeah, only when I went on my ride, it was only 4 people that hit the compound.
When you're on that bus, right, and you get into R&D, can you tell like these dudes right here are probably not gonna, they're gonna go tell the cops, hey, I'm in danger here, I can't be here?
Well, you know, like looks can be deceiving because you got a lot of guys that look like they really about that life, right? So when I'm looking around, I see guys and stuff. I'm looking like I ain't really trying to judge a book by its cover, but it's like it look like some guys are like, oh yeah, he really like he might be on that, and then whatever. So I don't know. I didn't really give too much thought into about what the next man was going to do. I just knew I was thinking about myself at the time, if I'm being honest.
Thinking about yourself, but you're nervous. You're like, damn, man, I got to make it out of here. You had just heard about someone getting killed. So now you go to the yard. What's your first day like in federal prison when you get to the compound?
Oh, man, listen, right? So when you hit the yard, you already know how it is. They just tell you they assign you to a dorm until you go to your dorm. They don't escort you there. They like, go find your dorm, go find your people, right? So when I got there, we was on lockdown. You know what I'm saying? It was just a riot for the Bloods. And the Bloods in New York had, crashed out against each other, right? 2 cars crashed. So the compound was already on lockdown. So once I get there, I go to C1, right? On the red side. And if anybody been to Canaan, the blue side way more vicious than the red side. But luckily I end up going to the red side, right? So when I get to the red side, I go and C1. And when I first get in there, you just hear the boom, 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 bamming on the door, bamming on the door. Where you from? Where you from? This and that and the third. This and that and the third. You blood? This and that. Because that's a New York yard. So, they like, you blood? This and that and the third. So when I first get there and stuff, everybody on lockdown, I get my Mac and I'm just, I just look around like, damn, bro, like I'm really in the USP, bro, in the feds, bro. Like we in the mountains, like this, like damn, bro, like I'm just looking like, bro, this can't be life. This can't be it. But my first day in there, I go in there, and when I go in there, I go to the unit, everybody asks where you from. They put me in the Midwest cell, of course. When I get in the cell and stuff, my cellie, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my dude Rayo. But my cellie and stuff like that, as soon as I get in there, you know, it was an awkward silence. You know how that go. He like, well, you know where you from? Boom. So, you know the introduction, how much time you got, what you in for, boom, boom. And then the next thing he said, you know what the next thing he said? You know what I'm saying? You got to get your paperwork. So, you know what I'm saying? That was the first day.
You got to get your paperwork, right? What do they mean when they say that? I mean, I know, but some of the viewers might not know.
You gotta have those driver's license. Your paperwork is how you going to walk the yard. Your paperwork is going to really like solidify you. So them your driver's license in the feds, right? So that paperwork, that is a real thing in the USPs. I never been to no Lowe's and no FCIs, so I can't tell you on that spectrum. But from the USPs wise, you gotta have those driver's license. You gotta have those paperwork, or your ass going that way. You know what I'm saying? So that's a real thing.
How about a knife? Do you have to get a knife with a 30-month sentence?
You don't have to get a knife, because I'm gonna just tell you like this, like, you don't have to get a knife, but it's all up to your discretion. Like, after you get now I done seen people come down there with time shorter than mine, and you know they get the hawk. But it's what you want. You feel me? Like, but I wouldn't necessarily say you have to, but you gonna have to put some work in and defend yourself for sure.
When we talk about putting in work, you're in the Ohio car, you're in USP Canaan. Do you have to put in work?
Everybody got to put in work. You know, I'm gonna say this: when your number get called, you definitely got to put in that work. You know what I'm saying? So, when I first got there, I'll tell you a little situation. When I first got there, we had a dude we in the Midwest car, you feel me? So we had a dude come down there from St. Louis. So he went in the cell, the Midwest was in coalition with the GDs and the vice lords, right? So this dude coming there, he go on one of the members' cell. So the member, he started like moving a little crazy in the member cell. Like fuck it, like messing with his belongings. My bad. He started messing with his belongings. So, my cellie had the unit. You know what I'm saying? He was the rep for the unit. So when he come to my cell, he like, hey, buddy gotta go. Y'all gotta find somewhere for him to go. So my cellie like, what's going on with it? He like, man, he going through my belongings or whatever. So, I'm fresh in. That was my time. That's when my number was called, right? So my cellie like, come on, let's go. So it's time to boot up. You feel me? It's wartime. I mean, well, I ain't gonna say war, but it's time to get active, right? So boom, we go in the cell. We do what we had to do and get him up out of there. You feel me? But we had to run him up pretty much.
Let's talk about it. You go in the cell. What are you putting the beats on? You got to hit him with a lock. You got to stab him. What do you have to do?
We, you know what I'm saying? Fortunately, we didn't have to poke him or nothing like that. We just gave him a good beating. You know what I'm saying? We just gave him a good beating, drug him out the cell, told him to go that way. You feel me? We had to run him up.
Is this cat trying to fight back?
Yeah, I think any man gonna try to fight back for himself. But yeah, he was trying to fight back, but he was trying to fight back, but like, when you got two people, like when you got two aggressors on you like that, like it ain't go good for him, Chad. I'm gonna just keep it a buck.
Is he screaming, trying to get out of the cell?
Yeah, for sure. He's screaming, trying to get out the cell and whatever like that. Cause I'm at the cell. I'm at the cell door. So my cellie kind of like at the, with it like by the windows and stuff like that, right? But we doing our thing. He trying to get up out of there, and then we got the members assisting us, like far as like, not actually doing the physical part, but like standing by the door and putting the work in. You know what I'm saying? But like the member standing by the door and making sure that he don't get out the cell. So as we doing our 1-2, he get up out of there. You feel me? And then he went that way.
Don't you find it crazy that a dude would come to a USP and go on someone else's property, knowing that people are getting killed in these places?
Yeah, man. And then the thing about it, so he was already suspect because he had came from Big Sandy. So, you know, once you traveling hitting different yards and stuff like that, you know, like it's either you somebody or you not. You feel me? So what you was, you know what I'm saying? What's the reason behind you having to, they got you up off their yard? And we had a few situations like that inside the car where dudes had, they couldn't walk the yard for certain reasons and stuff like that. And then they kind of try to have a little mask on but once we really looked into it, we like, oh, you know, it's either he was hot, he was on sucker time, or you know how that go. But yeah, you know, you down bad, like when you come to a pen and think that you can, you know the laws, you know the rules. You don't go on nobody's stuff. We on man. We standing on man stuff. We standing on business. We standing on principles. So, you know, like that's a no go. That stealing stuff. That's a no go. That's one of the laws in the feds. Period.
So, dude gets beat up. Is he leaking when he leaves?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like he ain't bad, but he did some damage though. Did some collateral damage.
So for those that are watching that don't understand, we'll tell them he had to go up top. He had to go downstairs and tell the police, look, man, I just got beat up and I got to leave this compound. I can't be here, right? That's what that means, going up?
Yeah, for sure.
So now he goes up top. What happens to you? Do you go to the hole? Does he tell on you guys?
Nah, we ain't go to the hole because, like, let's be honest, right? They know the politics in the prison. You know what I'm saying? The administration know the politics in the prison. So when they know somebody had to go up, they know it's for a reason, right? So, you know, that's where the structure come in there. So, you know, nah, we ain't never go to the shoe behind none of that.
So people don't know in federal prison, the cops and the administration, the warden, you know, people think, well, they'll save me. But really, they let you discipline your own, get rid of your own if they're doing something illegal, right?
They the one gonna get you out the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest. Like, shit. Like, if you know how it is. Like, they with the politics because they got. You know what I'm saying? Even though they the administration, they got their own car themselves, right? So they know, like, this is how they got to keep things in order. This is how they got to keep things organized. So they know, like, if it's a situation, then you deal with your people or let your people deal with you. You know what I'm saying? Because for one, it makes their job easier. And for two, it just keep stuff organized inside of the walls for sure.
You think the cops enjoy watching some dudes get beat up?
I want to say they enjoy watching dudes get beat up, but when like a chomo try to hit the yard and they know he ain't right, I don't think they opposed to him getting, you know what I'm saying, getting this issue. You feel me? Because, you know, and, you know, ain't no chomo, you know, that's bad business, right? So if it's something like that, they not gonna be like happy because they gotta do their job, but at the same time, they know what the time it is. His ass gotta go. He deserve his beating. Take your lick. Get up out of here.
Was that the only time you're involved in violence at Canaan, or do you have other incidents?
That was the only probably the incident I got into, like far as like actually having to get busy. But I have been approached with situations from people that's in my own car, you know what I'm saying, where it could have got sticky. But let me highlight something, right? So, you know, I had affiliation with the New York guys, right? So a lot of like the New York guys took a liking to me, you know what I'm saying? So in the tri-state, you know, that's the tri-state car when you in Canaan. For those who don't know about the tri-state, is New York, Jersey, Connecticut, right? And you know, you got Boston and all of them that come along with it. But the New York guys took a liking to me, and I ended up being in a cell with a New York guy, right? My cellie Baby J, shout out to him too. He did like about 12 years, right? Smooth program and everything. So he had a lot of knowledge about how things are moving inside of the walls, you know what I'm saying, the USPs, right? However, my car was like, you know, why he rocking with them guys so heavy? Oh, what's going on? This and then the third, right? So they tried to push up on me. So when they tried to push up on me and stuff like that, you know, I bucked the whole car. Like, what we doing? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they try to take me to the yard, politic me, all that good stuff. But, you know, I'm a man before anything, Chad. So I don't care if you black, brown, white, yellow, where you from. If you a man and you solid, that's what we on. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I told them, like, listen, I'm a man before anything. So, you know, they tried to pull a move on me. My car tried to push up on me, but I bucked the whole car, let them know I wasn't going, Chad. You feel me? You know, I'm official. I didn't get here by having smut on my name. You know what I'm saying? I stood on business. And, you know, that's just what we doing.
So they're trying to send you up because you were kicking it with the New York dudes?
They was trying to lightweight politics. They weren't really trying to send me up because, you know, if you send somebody up, you got to have a valid reason. You know, so you just can't send somebody up because, you know, you're trying to get some clout. But nah, they was just trying to politic me, like, because I'm gonna be honest, they thought my New York dudes gave me a knife. So when they thought my New York dudes gave me a knife, they was like, oh, how you got a knife and you ain't bringing it to the car, you ain't get it from one of the homies or nothing like that. So, you know, they was just trying to politic me and just get in my business and all that type of stuff. And I'm like, listen, bruh, I don't have to tell you dudes all my moves and everything what I'm doing, you know. But then I had to look at things like the politics inside of the car is real. You feel me? You got to be with your people because that's who you with, and you could get ran up and they could get you off the yard if you're not standing with your people. But, you know, it was just one of them situations. I felt like they see I'm moving and I'm grooving, you know what I'm saying, building relationships with other cars, and from the outside looking in, they like, what he on? You know what I'm saying? It looked like I had a lot going on, but I really didn't have nothing going on for real.
They thought you might have been getting the bag or getting a couple of dollars maybe, and they wanted some of it, and they were wrong.
That's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact. Yep.
You're kicking it with the New York dudes. If something would have happened, you think they would have helped you? Some of the dudes you were kicking it with?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because my New York homie, Baby J, which is he was the spokesman for the New York guys in Canaan. He was my celly and stuff. And when it happened, he tried to rectify the situation. You know what I'm saying? And he saw me on go mode because I went and strapped up. Like, you know, it's time to get active. And he stopped me. He like, listen, bro, you know, I've been through here. I done blew niggas up. I done did all that, right? So he like, calm down, because, you know, I was on 10. I'm very impulsive in certain situations. So he was like, man, calm down. And then the spokesman that had the unit from the Midwest came to the door. He like, come here, MJ, I need to holler at you. And he was like, nah, bro, don't come in my cell. This is a New York cell. Don't come in here. So, yeah, I think we wouldn't have crashed though. We wouldn't go crash because we had understanding and we knew how to communicate. So I wouldn't have never put my celly in a situation or my New York homies in a situation where we had to crash. You know what I'm saying? I just would have crashed out on who I needed to crash out on and then took it from there. But I wouldn't have let them get involved in that stuff because I wouldn't want to mess up their time.
A lot of good men there. You don't want to get them jammed up.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So while you're in Canaan, right? Some of the most vicious things you've seen in Canaan, bro. I know it was a dangerous place.
You asked me?
Yeah, what's some of the most vicious things you've seen?
Well, when I first got there, like about a month, I'm on the yard and stuff like that. So, you know, it's summertime. So I'm standing on the gate, you know, and the yard's divided in Canaan. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the gate in between us, right? So I'm standing there on the gate. And when I'm standing there on the gate, I'm talking to one of the homies and stuff. You know how we doing the meet and greet. And next thing you know, I look out my periphery, and when I look and stuff like that, they just blowing dude up. Boom. So when they blowing dude up, they hit the deuces. Boom. You know, this is the first time, like, you know, I'm seeing a situation like this, right? So boom, they hit the deuces and stuff. I'm like, it's already blowing, seeing you get blow up like that, right? But then they hit the deuces. You know how that thing go off. Boom. That they send the warning shot first. So And then they sent the warning shot, and then we right there, and then they shot the you know how they shoot it in your area. I think it's whatever they shoot it in our area and stuff like that. So boom, I'm like, damn, that was the first time I saw like somebody really get blew up. And then I'm in the unit, right? This, and luckily dude alive for this, right? So dude, he have an episode. You know what the episodes is. He epping out.
I know what it is, but tell the people what it is.
Okay, so the episode pretty much like when the dude off the tune, when he off the deuce, right? And he tweaking, you know what I'm saying? It's like if you it's like equivalent to somebody hitting some angel dust and they just freaking out. So that's when that's what happened. The episode is he epping out because the deuce heavy inside the walls, right? So he having an episode, right? But when he having an episode, he come out the cell, boom, and dive off the top range, bro. I'm with the knife in his pocket, bro. I'm like, oh my God. I'm standing there by the iron board, and all you hear is boo. You feel me? Like his whole body hit the top tier and stuff like that, man. The man came out the cell having an episode and dove off the top range, bro. Damn near died, bro. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Where was he from?
He was in the South. He was in the South car.
Dude, black dude, Spanish dude?
He was a black dude. Yup. You know what I'm saying?
Off the top tier, head first.
Head first. You feel me? Like them ranges ain't very tall, but they're not very short neither. But like falling off that range, like that's vicious. And going head first, like yeah, that was like off of an episode, bro. I'm like, oh man, this wild, man. You feel me? And then I saw,
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And then I saw a dude, right? He was in our car. He's from St. Louis. Another dude from St. Louis, right? The homies pressed up on him about his paperwork, all that stuff. You know that story. So when they pressed up on him about his paperwork and all that stuff, he played it real smooth, right? He like, all right, cool. So he went to the cell. Strapped up. You feel me? He came back. He had 2 knives on him. And when he had 2 knives on him, the dudes that was trying to press him, he chased them around the unit. Yeah, facts.
What, they want his paperwork and he's fucked up, so he decides, you know what, I'm gonna pull out these knives and chase these cats down.
To be honest with you, I don't even think he was messed up, Chad. Like far as I don't even think he was on no hot stuff. I just think that they didn't know who they was dealing with. They sitting there pressing the issue about somebody when he had just hit the compound. Remind you, he came from Big Sandy. This is another dude that came from Big Sandy. And they didn't even know like who they was dealing with. So they trying to press up on him. He like, listen, bro, he been down for some time. And the dudes that was trying to press up on him, they fresh in the feds. They only like a year. Only like a year inside this. This dude got time under his belt. And he was kind of older and stuff, right? So they thinking they just about to, roll over on him. Ain't no way, man. That dude went to put them knives on, bro. He went and strapped up, put his towels on and everything, bro. And he chased them dudes around the unit.
And what happens? He don't catch him? He don't stab him?
Nah, he couldn't. They was running and they was throwing the chairs at him and stuff like that. So by the time he running around and they throwing the chairs at him and stuff, the police catch up on it. And when the police catch up on it, they hit the deuces and stuff like that. He wasn't able to get to him though. But he ended up getting caught with the knives on him, both of the knives on him, and they ended up ratting him out and everything. He never came back out.
Let me ask you this, right? When they hit the deuces in a prison, right? The atmosphere in the unit, what's it like? For me, it was just like exciting. It was like, oh shit, oh chaos, right? How do you feel when they hit the deuces?
Man, when I feel they hit the deuces, man, I ain't gonna even lie. I'm like, man, we about to be down. You know what I'm saying? We about to go down, bro, because remind you, we was locked down so much, Chad, bro. Like when I say we was locked down, bro, this still 2024, right? In the beginning of the year, like we was locked down. We came in a year on the 30-day lockdown, and it's like we never came up. We only came up for like 2-3 days at a time, bro. Like, and then in March, we went in lockdown for like a month and a half. So it's just like we was just always locked down. So the atmosphere for me, when they hit the deuces, it's like, oh my God, bro. I'm like, bro, I say, we ain't gonna never come up. And then it's like, let me hurry up and get my ice. Let me get my hot water. You feel me? Like things like that. You got to hurry up and get everything that you need because it's not no telling if you go come back up. So let me hurry up and send a message out to my people telling them I'm about to be locked down. You feel me? It was very stressful when they hit the deuces, man. It was just like, because you just never knew when you was gonna come up. You never knew how long you was gonna be locked down. And it was just like, man, here we go again, bro. Like it was stressful when they used to hit the deuces, bro. Because I mean, who want to be locked in a cell 24 hours a day? And then when we go on severe lockdowns, only time we come out is for a shower, and that's every 3 days. So yeah, it was stressful when they used to hit. For me, it used to be stressful, man.
So being locked in a cell, right? Some young dudes need to know what it's like to be locked in a cell. You going hungry in the cell?
Hell yeah. Like, don't let you, man, listen, if you ain't got no commissary, bro, because them trades be bogus. You feel me? So hell yeah. And even them trades ain't enough, man. I remember like me and my celly, bro, we was on our knuckles, Chad. Like when we went on that lockdown for like a month and a half, we was on our knuckles, bro. We had to eat everything off the tray. I'm talking about every pea on that tray, bro. Like, it used to be bad, man. And then the food, terrible. And I worked in the mess hall. I had ended up getting a job in the mess hall for a minute, right? But prior to that, when we used to go on them lockdowns, man, listen, bro, I lost about like 10 pounds when we went on that 1.5 lockdown. And I'm already a slim, skinny dude, bro. When I came off that lockdown, bro, I was like a skeleton, bro. Like, and then like, you got to have a good celly. Always keep that in mind, because when you going on them lockdowns, bro, if you ain't got a good celly, y'all go bump heads, bro. You feel me? Y'all go bump heads, bro, because you in the cell, you in the bathroom with a man 24 hours a day for 30 plus days straight, bro. Like, it's like only, what I'm saying? You can't even really move in there, right? So I used to have to stand on my chair at the rack, because I used to have to, I'm a respectful dude, right? So I used to have to let my celly get his space. And then, I used to know when my celly get frustrated because I can feel the tension. So, it's just that silence. We not talking. So I used to have to try to break the ice. We'll go days without talking. And then it won't necessarily mean that we got something against each other. We just both mad from being in this cell. You know what I'm saying? All this damn time, bro. Ain't got no food. You know what I'm saying? You can't hit your lick. All type of stuff. So it's just like, man, it's vicious in themselves, Shad.
Definitely vicious in there. And like you said about a celly, you want to have a good celly. You don't want to be in a cell with someone that's an animal or just a piece of shit, because next thing you know, you'll be in there stabbing each other. And I'm sure that during lockdowns, you've probably heard that, right?
Hell yeah, for sure. Like during them lockdowns, like, when it's during them lockdowns, if you ain't got no good celly, one of y'all getting up out of there. And that's just what it is, man. One of y'all got to go. And I done seen it in bad. I didn't see it, like certain stuff I done saw with my own personal eyes, but I also done been in the unit where I heard things in bad. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's one of the worst things that happened in your unit.
The worst thing that happened in my unit, when the South crashed with the Bloods.
What was that like? Who wins?
It was a brawl. You had to take cover. You know what I'm saying? You had to take cover. But for the people that don't know, Canaan is a New York yard, right? And the Bloods assist New York because there's so many Bloods from New York that's on that yard. So when New York crashed, when certain members crash, then the New York homies go assist. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, and then you got South dudes that's on blood time. So they got to go against their own region, their own demographics. You know what I'm saying? It was messy, but it got It was wartime. That was a wartime. People got stabbed. Some people got beat, but that's what happened with war. You got to have casualties.
You know, being a young dude, well, not super young, but you know, going in that environment with a little bit of time, you're seeing all this stuff. Does it affect you mentally or emotionally when you see someone stabbed or you see blood all over, people leaking, or is it just another day?
It's at the minute you kind of be like, at first it's like it's traumatizing, right? But at the minute you be like, man, people get messed up every day. This come with the territory, right? So I see it like mentally, like I would think that I'm a strong-minded person, right? So mentally, I didn't let it steer me in the wrong direction. You know what I'm saying? Neither I ain't moving no emotions. So mentally, yeah, it's like, dang, like I didn't really let it mess with me like that, because I already know I had to keep a sharp mind. I had to focus on getting out this place. So I had to stay focused on my mission. So even when I saw things and stuff like that, it was just like, you got to be laser sharp and on pins, bro. You got to know how to move militant. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I just kept a militant mindset. Like, you know, even when you walk into child, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff, bro. Like, you got to be militant in them situations, bro. Because if not, one slip up can cost you not only your life, but it can cost you a lot of time as well, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, I had to be real militant.
Easily go in there with 30 months and end up killing someone, end up with 30 more years, right?
Oh, man. Them was thoughts that crossed my mind. You know what I'm saying? I had to really be like, them thoughts really crossed my mind, because I'm like, it's either you, when you in a situation where it's either you or somebody else, you know what I'm saying? It's either him or you. So it's like, man, I don't want to have to be that person, but if it came down to it, then I'm just gonna have to be that person. And I'm like, damn, bro, like I don't want to have to spend the rest of my life in no situation like this. I don't want to have to be a part of this, but I know the environment that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it can happen. And I wasn't naive to that.
Sometimes you got to do things you don't really want to do, right?
100%. 100%. Yes. I had to do some things I didn't want to do, but.
And right now you're at the halfway house, recently released. When'd you get out of prison?
I just got out, like, only been out for like about 30 days now. You know what I'm saying?
You've been out of jail for 30 days. You were in Canaan. Did you know Vic from New York, Victor Lorenzano, Puerto Rican Vic, short, bald head?
The name ring a bell, but I didn't know him pro se. You feel me? I knew my homie T Real, which is the New York dude.
T Real's my boy, man. He's from Rochester.
Yeah. Shout out to T Real. He on his way home and stuff. He got his halfway house and everything. He'll be home in like the next couple months. You know what I'm saying? That was my dude. We was on the same deck together. So, you know, we end up making it to our deck and whatever. So we end up on the same deck together. And very good dude, very solid man, very humble. So shout out to T Real for sure.
How about AD? Did you meet AD over there from New York, Aldo Mitchell?
No, I didn't meet AD. No, I didn't meet AD. No.
If you'd have met him, you'd have certainly knew who he was.
Yeah, I met, you know what I'm saying, who had the compound for New York at that time was Don Moo. You know what I'm saying? Don Moo had he had the yard down there. Yeah. That's
about having the yard, right? That means that the dude's pretty much a shot caller, right? He calls.
Yeah.
Think about shot callers. Do you think people kind of glamorize them dudes?
Yeah, I think about the dudes that got the yard and stuff. I don't really think, like, some dudes, everybody not fit for the position, right? But once a dude have the yard, once a dude that got the compound, it become understandable. Like, okay, because some guys just know how to carry it different. Some guys just know how to move. Some guys know how to negotiate. Some guys know how to strategic. So these guys be put in place for these particular reasons. And I think that it fall in line with the structure of the politics, right? But I don't really think that they glamorize. I just think they necessary, because if we didn't have those dudes, these dudes that got the cars and stuff, then it'd just be out of hand. And then again, you don't want to have the wrong person. Don't want to have the yard, because you just press and play on everything. Then you anything for real. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, I think it's very necessary for the shot callers, for those guys that had a yard. It's very necessary. I don't think they glamorize. It's just the position need to be filled, right?
Well,
so
in most cases with a shot caller, it kind of keeps things calmer than they would be without a shot caller.
yeah, absolutely, because you know what I'm saying? As sad as it might sound, you gotta have the politics in the feds. You got to, you know what I'm saying? Because you gotta understand, y'all are responsible for a lot of people when you inside the car, especially the shot caller. So you're responsible for a lot of people. So, you know, the politics is very necessary, because, and and let's keep it 100 in this whole totality, because you got people from every demographic inside the feds, right? So I don't know you. I don't know how y'all move out there in New York. Yeah, y'all don't know how we move out here in Ohio. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to stick with your people. And I think the politics is, I don't like politicking, you know what I'm saying? Because I done been involved in it, right? But I think it's very necessary, because it's a part of the structure. Absolutely. It's just like in the world. You got to have politics inside the world, right? Because that's how you make it creates structure inside of the world, for sure.
You know, it's obvious that you're intelligent. Let me ask you this. Who do you think was the most dangerous car at USP Canaan?
The white boys.
So why is that?
The white boys push a hard line. Listen, you feel me? And they standing on all business. You hear me? Like them white boys, like when this time to go, it's like, oh, they going. And like, I don't know everything about the politics as far as like with the white boys, but I know like when they have to put in work, they can't stop. You know, they have to put in work to the point where somebody got to get maced, or somebody down there got to get killed, but they can't stop, bro. The white boys is the most, from my experience from being a Canaan, the white boys was the most vicious car down there. And then second to them, I'd say the gang car. You know what I'm saying? Because the gang car, like, you got the Crips and the Bloods together. Now, when I say the gang car, the GDs and stuff they not in coalition with the gang car, even though they a gang. The GDs is in coalition with the Midwest, you know, because of the region. But the gang car was vicious too, because they putting in that work. But them white boys, bro, they blowing you up, they crashing out. They don't care if it's time for his ass to go, he gotta go. It's no waiting, none of that. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be times where we just come off a 2-week lockdown and say somebody hit the compound from somewhere else. And the white boy that had the compound to where I was at, he came from ADS. His name was Donnie. Shout out to Donnie. You know what I'm saying? I worked in the mess hall.
I did Donnie's case. I was real good friends with Donnie. I tried to help him on this case right now. Very good.
Yeah, Donnie, I was in the mess hall. You know, we had, mutual respect. Feel me? So, but I done seen the white boys when we come off a lockdown for 2 weeks, and somebody was on the compound that wasn't supposed to be there, or there was somebody that had to go. Ain't no way, and we don't care. They don't care if you ain't get the commissary. They don't care if you ain't talk to your family. They getting their ass up out of here. They politics is real.
So Donnie was a pretty well respected dude over there.
Yeah, Donnie had the compound. Matter of fact, you know what I'm saying. Right before I left, he had so much influence, they ended up sending me back to ADX. Yeah.
They sent Donnie back to the ADX?
They just sent Donnie back to ADX. When was this? September? And the yard flipped too. They took all the Serenos off the yard and put all the MS-13s on there. So we had to go on that lockdown as well. So they flipped the yard too. But yeah, Donnie was Donnie just went back to ADS like in September or whatever. Yeah, he had too much influence over the yard.
That's crazy. I didn't know he went back to the ADX.
Yeah, and
So
then I was down there with Sheikh G as well.
what was he like?
Sheikh G, you know, he's a board member, you know what I'm saying, all the GDs and stuff like that. And you know, he had a lot of influence as well. So by him having
I just did his reply on his compassionate release motion.
oh yeah, he had a lot of influence down there as well. And you know, he kind of like when he came down there, he divided the coalition with the Midwest and the GDs because the way he was on his own people, the Midwest dudes weren't feeling that. So, you know, I don't want to get into too much about that because that's heavy. But yeah, like that's how the politics roll.
So before the federal sentence, the reason they sent you to USP Canaan is because you did time in Ohio. You had a record over there, right?
Yup. I did like about 4.5 years in Ohio.
4.5 years you did in Ohio, I think you were in a juvenile block, right?
I wasn't in the juvenile block. I was in the 21 and under block, which is from 18 to 21. You know what I'm saying? Like the dudes that's fresh.
Usually with young dudes, it's pretty vicious and violent, right?
Yeah, it was gladiator school. Yeah.
What's it like to live like that, man? Every day having to wake up and wondering if today's the day.
At that time, I was in a different space in life. So at that time, it was like we just wrecking. If it go, it go. You feel me? Like it's sad to say, you know what I'm saying? In those days, I had a lot of fun. You know what I'm saying? That bid was fun for me at that time. I was in a different space. I was younger. So when we going in there and we fighting and stuff like that, like that's like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? We got a rush out of that. That was just we was on demon time. So, you know, every and then in the state, every other day it was a fight. I'm gonna tell you some real stuff. I didn't even fight that much on the streets. But when I went to the North Central out here in Ohio in the 21 and under dorm, it was vicious, man. It was vicious. Yeah, absolutely.
I just said, you know, a few minutes ago, I said you're a pretty intelligent brother. It's obvious, right? So when we're in prison and we think, damn, man, I had a good time back then. Really, that's just your young mind thinking that. But really, it wasn't a good time. Really, at the end of the day, it wasn't.
Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't really a good time for real. But like I said, I was in a different space in life. So when I went there and stuff, you know, when I went there, I just was on go mode. Like I didn't have no care in the world. I had, you know, my girl left me, you know what I'm saying? Like I was young, you know what I'm saying? So I had a lot of demons that I was, you know what I'm saying? I had a lot of demons I was living with at that time. And, you know, when I was younger and stuff like that, I always kind of was like been an impulsive person, right? I never been like a guy like, you know, you can't talk to me any type of way, or I don't care about the tough guys. You know, I'm not tough at all, but you know, if it ever came down to it, then, you know, I'm gonna poke my chest out as well. So like just being in that mindset, it wasn't healthy, you know, and over these years, Chad, I grew. And I'm gonna tell you something else, man. I'm gonna tell you something real, bro. I have no resentment about my federal time I did because I got a chance to reinvent myself, right? So in that time, I learned a lot about me. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn how to be mentally sharp. I had to learn how to have emotional intelligence, right? So because I went through some stuff personally that kind of scarred me in there. And it was like that federal time, I feel like it was, for me, all the times I've been in prison, it wasn't nothing like the time I did in the feds, because that time I did in the feds, it was very pivotal in my life. And when I'm looking back on it, I feel like it was God's plan. And sometimes it's like, yeah, it sucked, unfortunately, that it had to be that way. But this was God's way of letting me know, like, bro, like, listen, you got to get it together. And I learned a lot about myself in that time, Chad. But and everything else, like far as prior to that, like my little state biz in the state, like I didn't learn nothing, Chad, bro. I was, you know what I'm saying? I was a mess, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you.
So you learned something about yourself, right? Now you're back out here in society. I mean, freedom feels good, don't it?
Partially freedom, but yes, You know, it feel good not to be stuck in the cell 24 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? Because I still have I still reach out to a few of the homies, and they just came off a lockdown there. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I'm still in contact with people. So it do feel good to be like, it feel good to be like knowing that I have another opportunity, I have another chance at life, because it didn't have to be it didn't have to be like this, right? So that definitely feel good. You know, it's a little bit of a struggle right now because I'm starting from ground zero, but sometimes the hardest start, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when you start from the bottom or starting over, that might be the hardest start, but it got the greatest finishes. So, you know, like I don't have no pity or nothing like that. So this is the challenges that I'm faced with. So, you know, I just feel good about the space I'm in mentally and emotionally now, Chad. So yes, for sure.
Like you said, people like Donnie, he's not going to get a second chance at life. He almost was home. He had a couple of years left on a 25-year bid, killed someone in prison, and got a life sentence. There's other dudes that you were around that ain't never getting out. They'll never get that second chance, but you got it. So what are your plans with your second chance?
My plans right now, I have a lot of plans, right? You know, I have a lot of plans. So right now, what I'm doing at the current moment, I'm just kind of like building content, like far as like mentorship, right? So I want to be able to mentor the youth, you know what I'm saying, and save kids, you know what I'm saying, from prevent kids from making the same mistakes we made. So I'm kind of like building content like on my mentorship, which is you know what I'm saying, the Ivy Mentor Group. Ivy mean invest into yourself. With that, that's a plan. I plan on going to barber school after I get out of here because I already signed up for it, but I can't do it in here. I got a job interview tomorrow, a job orientation tomorrow. What else? I'm gonna go back to school and kind of like just try to do some public speaking. You know what I'm saying? Because I took RDAP, and when I was in RDAP, I was able to, you know, when you're able to speak in front of 100+ men every day in front of a microphone, and I found that very interesting. I took a liking to it, so I want to go to school for like advanced communication and just to get sharper on my communication skills and learn how to give seminars. You know, I want to get into photography. There's a lot of things that I have planned out, but it started with the thought process of just like, you know, the thought process is just getting up every day and investing into that. So, you know, I'm just every day, me and Eric wake up, you know what I'm saying? We on the move to try to get the job. But what I'm doing in my free time is building that content, man, because I see it. I'm seeing the way the world is moving, and you know, I'm definitely gonna be a part of evolution, because if you're not a part of evolution, you get left behind. So, you know, just doing little stuff like that. But yeah.
Man, like I said, you're an intelligent dude, and I can see it in you. I think you're going to succeed. Let me ask you this before we get ready to go. Young dudes out there in Ohio carrying guns, selling dope, robbing, carjacking, doing all kinds of crazy shit, facing, you know, they get caught, they're facing federal time. What message would you give them?
Man, listen, man. First of all, that street stuff is dead. The streets is a myth now. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't no code no more. Nobody's not standing on business. Nobody's have no principles, no morals out there. So you ask me, the street stuff dead. And my message to them, man, is like, listen, man, you know what you signed up for. You know what I'm saying? Don't hurt your family and your loved ones, and don't put nobody else in the mess and bring them into your mess. You know what I'm saying? Accept your responsibilities for what you do, you know, if that's what you plan on doing. But in the same time, the street stuff is over with, man. Like a 9 to 5 is the new hustle, you know. That's ain't nothing wrong with having a job, you know. It's staying out the way and staying free, because once you get inside the walls, man, it's a mess, man. It's dark inside the walls, man. Stay out them. You know what I'm saying? Them jail cells is cold, and them graveyards is dark. You know, so pick your poison, man. You know, but stay up out, like leave that stuff alone. It ain't even worth it. Take it from somebody that wasted his time in the streets, and the only thing I got from it is a bunch of pain. So, you know, let them have that, bro.
Well, I definitely appreciate you coming on, man, sharing your story, sharing your experience. I know you said that you used to watch the channel before you ever went to federal prison. Did it give you some insight?
Heck yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, salute to you, chat, and thank you, thank you for this interview and this opportunity and stuff like that, because in my eyes, I feel like this is a big platform. You know what I'm saying? In my eyes, my bad, I was getting a call. In my eyes, I do feel like this is a big platform. So when I used to watch this channel and stuff like that, like, my girl used to get mad at me, like, why are you watching that? You just giving me anxiety. I'm like, listen, baby, I got to be prepared. You know what I'm saying? Proper, what is how the P's go? Proper, you know, prevents poor performances, right? So she used to get mad at me. I used to stay up all night watching this stuff.
Prevents poor performance.
Yeah, I used to stay up all night watching this stuff because I just wanted to get some insight on how it is. And hearing the other guys' stories and interviews, they was accurate. And, you know, I just want to say salute to you and this platform. Keep doing your thing. And, you know, I support it, bro, for sure.
Well, I appreciate you. I'm going to tell people, if you like what we're doing, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. With respect, Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Until tomorrow, we're out.